Thrill me.
I'm gonna name you Coda. You get a name too, Podo.
His name is Happy Harry Hardon. He's a total sex maniac. Of course.
Welcome, everybody, to another Q's and T's installment of the Unkind Rewind, where we see how a beloved movie from our guest's youth held up after not having seen it in decades. This week, we'll be talking with Canedy Knowles, improv comic and actress, one of Sean's old buds from NYC, though she's not in NYC anymore. Obviously, I'm joined by my co-host, Sean McGrath. Sean.
The friend of Canedy.
Friend of Canedy.
And I would say, Josh, that you're a friend of Canedy now. Well,
now, yes, but I was not before. I did not know her before.
I think, though, that when you go through the Unkind Rewind with Josh and I, you come out like you've seen like some things that you probably shouldn't have seen. You've heard some things. You've experienced some things. We're almost like trauma bonded. Mm-hmm. And I would say that I don't think this is hyperbolic, but every former guest on the Unkind Rewind would die for you and me.
Yeah, 100%. We actually make him sign a...
But also vice versa.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But yeah, we do sign a pact between us and our guests. So they don't really have a choice in the matter.
There's some pentagrams being drawn on the ground. There's a knife being drawn across the palms of all of our hands. Mm-hmm. Even though oftentimes we're speaking to people on Zoom, the pressing of the bloodied palm to the camera on our computers is still binding.
Yeah.
And this is actually
cosmically,
but also this is also beyond just the episode we did of The Craft.
Yeah, before and after.
Yeah, we've gone through this same ritual for the Beastmaster.
Yeah. And Cocoon.
And Cocoon, yeah, which is, I mean, obviously there's some arcane dark art here, that we probably are going to, we're probably going to pay the price for it in some ways.
Yeah.
But now
it might be this week or next week, rather.
Right, I know, but we have to kind of embrace the good times and roll in it while the getting is good. Yeah. And I'll say this, and not every podcast can say this, Josh. 100% of our former guests are still alive.
Yeah.
Not every podcast can say that.
Mm-hmm. We've had guests beat cancer.
That's true. I think the moral of the story here is, if you don't want to die, come on the Unkind. Yeah, come on. Because as of right now, our track record is perfect.
Yes. Yeah.
You cannot testify in a court of law that coming on the podcast causes your death. You just can't.
You can't. I mean, there were multiple guests not from Minneapolis who were in the Twin Cities this last week. And one extra co-host who was also in Minneapolis last week.
All right, so who'd we have? Who was the former guest?
Mighty Minx was in the cities yesterday.
That was what was the movie for Mighty Minx?
Phase 4.
Oh, of course. How could I forget?
Yeah.
How
Brian, of course. Brian was in the cities.
And Brian's episode was Hiding Out. Okay.
And then, if I'm not mistaken, you were also in the Twin Cities last week.
I was. I've been a frequent guest on this show.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm probably the most recurrent of all guests on.
Yes.
I mean, and I think you and I have tied, but
yeah,
we have most appearances. We've lost.
There might have been. You might not have been on one of the. No, you were on both. You were on both the Leon episodes. That was the only one I was thinking that maybe you weren't on the pre-interview or the pre-thing. There might have been one of the first couple that you didn't do the pre-interview and weren't on the like before the pre-interview.
Sure. I mean, you've had to introduce some things without me, so
Yeah.
like by sheer like episode listings, you're ahead of the game.
Right. But
And
I think there's only one that you're not on, one of the two at least. Of the Q's and T's episodes where
it's just it would take like another recurring bout of mono or something like that to knock you out of the podcast chair for a while, enough for me to catch up. And then we always have our kind of closer in the wings waiting down in Albuquerque when if one of you or I cannot answer the bell,
right,
if Typhus comes back, and that's why it's always good to have an Adam Schwitters even beyond this podcast.
I mean he's on the shuttle between Omaha and Kansas City right now, the AAA shuttle, but yeah, if he can ever get off the baby making train. And
yeah, but I mean I think Adam Schwitters should just be kind of a waiting in the wings co-host for every podcast, even like a Call Her Daddy.
Little known fact, he actually is.
Oh,
yeah, he's the Waiting in the Wings podcast co-host, like the host replacement
for Call Her Daddy.
Yep.
Wow.
For the Joe Rogan Experience.
Oh, see, these are the types of things that you get from Adam when you guys are munching. When you guys are munching some Benson, I just don't get all the the nuance of his podcast life.
Well, we haven't munched for a while, and we're probably about 4 weeks out from recording again. So,
have you already rolled what episode that is?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have the episodes through 240 drawn. So 37, 237, 238, 239, and 240 are all.
So after 240, it's going to be back to the ping pong balls.
Back to the randomizer.
Nice.
Back to episode.lol, which was built for the podcast by a friend of the Podflat.
Yeah, take a shot if you.
How many times have I said that?
I know. You should have a thing on like a hotkey.
Yeah. I know. I want one of those soundboards, but I don't have one yet.
So you were up north. You were fishing and hunting and doing all the things that.
I neither fished nor hunted. I was up north though.
But
and while I was up north, my apartment was being occupied.
Yeah,
like Wall Street.
Yeah, you had a squatter.
Yeah, by none other than you. What was it like living in my apartment?
It smells like soap as soon as you walk in the door, which I think is a good thing.
We had cleaned quite a bit.
Yeah, it smelled really nice. It's a great apartment. I like that apartment quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like an airflow, what's the term? Confluence. There's like 19 fans, and some of them are working together, and some of them are definitely fighting.
Well, the one you can turn, like the one that we have in the middle of everything, the massive. We just got that at Costco, but we'll. Yeah, there's
a fan in Josh's apartment that like could move bones within your like body.
I'll be sitting 10 feet away from that fan, and it is like shaking my shirt like this.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It will like slowly knock a contact lens out of your eye.
Oh yeah, 100%. It would if you sit too close to it, distance. Your eyes will get so dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many fans in his place that like sometimes you're kind of lifted off the ground very, very briefly.
Yeah.
But there's these strange vortexes that exist in his apartment. Yeah, I love that area. Like it takes me back to you know kind of my childhood when I visited my grandparents in Highland Park, and it's just kind of everything's 20 minutes away from you.
That's the super fucking nice thing. It's literally like even going to the heart of downtown, either St. Paul or Minneapolis, and most of that being spent on city streets, never more than 25 minutes.
It's really great. Like I would always like get in your car and look at Google Maps and it was like 21 minutes, 18
Yeah.
minutes, 22 minutes. It was always completely tolerable.
Yeah, unless you're going to like outer, like if you were going to Stillwater or something, obviously it's going to be longer. But,
Yeah, but I'm not Jessica Lange, so I don't know why I would be going out there. I used to be.
Yeah, in a past life.
Yeah.
So you've been obviously I spent a week up north, but you've been in what? If we just count Japan as a city,
I've only been in two countries though.
Yeah, you've only been in two countries.
Yeah.
But in the past like week and a half, you've been in at least 4 cities.
Yeah.
That you spent more than just like transferring in an airport in.
It really feels like I'm on the run.
I was thinking about this yesterday, and I can't, like, I get like, oh fuck, I gotta go to the liquor store. And so the thought of like actually having to go to, like, you chose to go to an airport after you got back to New York and go back down to Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like I'm running from something, and people like that they're like a day behind.
Yeah,
maybe like a Terminator, but more like Mob or something where I just got to keep moving. The feds know where I'm at, which they probably do, and like that's more disconcerting than say the Terminator or the Mob. But yeah, I mean, it's just maybe it's just the not having children or a job, but it allows some
you also have the perk that like literally no other person I know has, where you can fly for next to nothing.
I do pay a cost, but yeah, I'm the
but very, very little.
I'm related to someone from the airlines, which does help. And again, like I ran into the sharp end of that stick this last few days getting out of Newark, which I think was completely underwater, like the city.
Yeah.
Like very much the end of the Batman, where like Newark's flooded. Like, sorry. Like it's not a city anymore.
Yeah.
Did you see any of the horror story videos of New York, like subways being kind of flooded and subway stations being flooded?
I mean, I've seen them before. From 2000 or from 2022 or so, 21.
From this week.
Or did it just happen again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Of like people lifting their legs up on like the seat of the subway because water's pouring through the car.
No.
And let me tell you this, and I'm gonna blow your mind here. Water's not super clean. That's it's
not.
I know that your assumption was, it's probably some like crystal clear, like mountain stream that you can just put your lips down to, and it's actually not, Josh.
No, I of course worked in Central Texas on the water for
true
8.5 years, so I'm intimately familiar with the other place that just got fucked.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably more bodies in the waterways than I was experiencing, but yeah, I mean, you feel completely like, well, there's nowhere to fucking go either, especially when airports start closing down, and it feels a little bit like I Am Legend, where you just got to show up at a pier and be like, I hope I can get on this ferry.
Or 2020 or 2012.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Let me thank God I wasn't here for that.
No. I mean the movie 2012.
Oh well, when was Sandy? 2012, 2013, somewhere. 2011. I want to say 2011. It was I think it was an Obama. Here's why I think it's 2011, because Chris Christie fucked himself in the 2012.
It was October
GOP.
2012.
Okay, so that doesn't make much sense. All I know is that Chris Christie was like, wow, Obama really supported us during this and like really helped kind of revitalize Jersey. And that was like, well, there goes your political career, because you just complimented a president who was trying to help you. And those were like the good old days of politics. Oh boy.
And they weren't good old days, people.
No,
yeah.
But it was
the sort of West Wing brain that some people got tricks people into thinking that politics were at one point like civil or whatever, but they weren't.
Where you could compromise?
Yeah, that didn't exist before. Unless you were a Republican like Bill Clinton basically was.
Yeah, then you could get things done. You could get things done being a Republican in a sort of in sheep's clothing.
Yeah. Anyway.
You
were at the All-Star game last night, huh?
Hell yeah. That was really fun.
Speaking of different cities that you've been in.
Yeah, and I didn't even know they were doing the dinger off until
they didn't announce it on the TV either.
It was so crazy. I don't think they even fathomed that there was going to be a tie at the All-Star game.
Well, they did, because they made sure it doesn't go extra innings anymore after the fiasco of
whatever year that was.
Yeah.
But I'll just say,
2006?
I kind of loved it. I kind of loved just pick your 3 fucking dudes on your team right now on your lineup. Like, it felt very like trial by combat.
Unfortunately for the AL, one of those guys was Jonathan Aranda.
I know. I mean, you hit more dingers than Aranda, like when the pressure's on.
Like, he's not a home run hitter. They could have gone. The AL could have gone with Buxton. They could they had guys who were in the active lineup who would have been better.
Yeah, I don't see that lineup, right? So I was real struggling to kind of come up with like, why Aranda? Like, and he's having a great year. Not to
sure, but everyone was saying why Aranda.
Yeah. So who else was on the active lineup at that point that was a better choice? Because Buxton obviously had competed in a home run derby. The guy's able to do that.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to the.
And he made it to the semis, right? Didn't Buxton make it to the semis? Yeah. So
But he's also like just crushing balls.
Right.
So waiting for the dumb page to load.
But picking Aranda deprived the Atlanta faithful of having to root for Pete Alonso, who was coming up, who was on deck, which would have put them in my boy, but it would have put them in such a weird mental conflict that I don't know if they would have been able to live with it.
Okay, so the AL at that point was Jazz, Stephen Kwan, no.
And Jazz,
Arozarena.
You don't put Jazz in there.
Not after his home run derby performance.
No.
Kirk, Aranda, Rooker
was in there.
But it looks like Rooker was lifted for McKinstry, so I think they were able to go off of guys who weren't even still on the active.
Hey, that's weird.
That's weird.
Maybe
Bobby Witt Jr. was also in. So
yeah.
If you had to go with someone who was in the active lineup, either Witt or Buxton makes a lot more sense than Aranda.
Yeah, I mean this is a little bit off the beaten path of the Unkind Rewind, but it's just too silly. I mean, it was a lot of fun. You
got to see a dong off.
Boone fucked up picking Aranda, but it was dong offs are how everything should be ended, regardless of if it's a sport.
100%.
Have there be a tie at the Academy Awards, and be like, okay, it's Frances McDormand and Helen Mirren. Dong off.
We're going to send a cast of La La Land and Moonlight out to the streets.
I'm going to
have a dong off.
I'm going to guess Moonlight's going to have a better chance there, seeing some of the guys in that.
100%.
Yeah. Even if, what's the British actress plays the mom? Naomi
Harris.
Naomi Harris. I mean, she's so off her head in that she probably could swing a bat.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some thick boys in that. There's some powerhouses. Yeah, they're gonna do.
Yeah, I think they can step into a pitch and let her rip.
Yeah, I don't know if John Legend has the hips for that. No. All right. Well, we're obviously we're gonna run this by the Academy. Dear listener.
Yeah, we'll see. Fingers crossed.
But you can do a lot worse in your life than being somewhere where you get to see a dong off.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so getting to last week's episode
with your new friend with your new friend Canedy.
No, last week's episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So getting into last week's episode of Stewart.
Oh,
we were talking about just one of the guys. In the main event, we
talked the shit out of just one of the guys, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I saw our running time and I was like, really? I was like, oh yeah, we got into it. There was no stone left unturned on the movie Just One of the Guys. Like, if you're thinking, do I have to listen to, I mean, if I listen to Unkind Rewind's podcast on Just One of the Guys, aren't I going to have to listen to other movie podcasts about that episode or about that movie? No, the answer is no.
No.
It's just a one-time
I trimmed it down too. Like the audio version, I cut 20 minutes out of.
Oh man, it was probably 20 minutes of gold too. Like, that's the thing, that we probably had to kill some gold.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't change that much. It wasn't a substantive change. It was just, I was cleaning stuff up and cleaning up over talking, and
it probably was breast mentions, because we did
those all stayed in mercifully.
Okay, good. Okay, thank God. And rightly so.
But we did talk about the origin of the term pussy, which Stuart and I assumed was derived from like a misogynistic origin, and you thought it stemmed from a shortening of pusillanimous.
Yeah.
So I went to a UPenn hosted blog, which was the author of the blog is UPenn linguistics professor Mark Lieberman. It's called Language Log. I'll have a link to this in the show notes. But per the Oxford English Dictionary, the pussy 2 definition, a girl or woman exhibiting characteristics associated with a cat, especially sweetness or amiability, can be cited back as far as 1560.
Jesus.
Which that definition then extends as North American slang to mean, quote, a sweet or effeminate male, in later use chiefly a weakling, a coward, a sissy, also a male homosexual, with those citations dating back to 1904, 1925, and 1934, respectively. The slang term for female genitalia can be traced back to 1699, which I know we were all very curious about.
Mm-hmm.
Now, etymologically, the base puss is inherited from Germanic. Pusillanimous doesn't appear in any of the OED talk and comes from the French pusillanime, which is derived from the Latin pusilus, meaning small or insignificant, and anima, meaning breath or spirit. And its similar meaning has probably led to a plausible folk etymology, but the author thinks, again, that's Mark Lieberman, thinks that the different pronunciation of the first syllables offers further proof that the argument for pusillanimous as the origin of the derogatory use of pussy for effeminate or cowardly males is balderdash. Now, he goes on to say that the relatively recent connotational separation between the negative meaning for pussy related to the positively evaluated pussycat is the only real difference in like where there's a split meaning wise, and that could like add a little fuel to the pusillanimous fire. But he said that the etymologies for pussy and pussycat or puss seem to be identical.
So from that, I just inferring that I was 100% right.
100% what?
Right.
No.
Okay, I was pretty wrong.
That is a folk etymology that's like arisen because of the somewhat similar definition between pusillanimous and pussy.
And you said 1564 was the first?
1560 was the first use of puss.
Okay.
Or like pussy as a girl or woman exhibiting characteristics associated with a cat.
I wonder if that was Henry VIII or Elizabeth at that point.
It was which king or which monarch?
Royal? Yeah.
1560s Elizabeth, isn't it?
Yeah, she had a long reign.
Let me look.
I think you're right. She's probably like 5 or 10 years into her reign, maybe at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, she is 2 years into her reign.
Okay.
1558 until 1603.
So what we're also saying is that Shakespeare was born in 1564. He could have used pussy.
I mean, he probably did, right?
I mean, just walking around.
I know.
I don't think it shows up.
Yeah.
Any of his plays.
But yeah, so that was something we said we would look into.
Okay, that's old business.
Yeah.
Consider it resolved.
Now for heading over to the socials, I know people are still reacclimating to us dropping episodes, so some of the usual audience members haven't had a chance to jump into the fray yet, but as you guys catch up, please, by all means, email, call, or drop in on the Discord, mention us in your letterbox reviews, reply to our social media posts, and we'll do our damnedest to get that in the show. Now, for just one of the guys on Blue Sky while watching the movie, Mobius13 said, watching this now, and I'll comment after finishing, but at the 40-minute and 15 mark, WTF? I mean, I know it was the 80s, but wow, did not expect that. That was the moment where...
Is that the double date?
No, it is when he tells Terry, it's Rick, right?
Yeah.
Where Rick tells Terry that the only time the time that when he'd had sex, it was his mom's friend who felt bad for him after his dad died. Which,
you know what? I am not. I mean, yes, wow, but I didn't bring this up on the episode, and I'm not really going to bring this up, but it's not the first time I've heard that. I have a friend who lost his V card that way. A mom's friend. Yeah.
Was it a mom's friend's pity fuck?
It had nothing to do with like grief or anything. It was just, okay. Yeah, I wasn't too keen on pressing for details. And Josh,
no, that's
you'll get a text from me on who this is, but that's going to be behind our paywall.
Yeah. That I'm not going to out that person. So.
Yeah, but that was like when that came up with poor Rick. Like, what's the fallout of that? Like, did mom? Like, are you still cool with mom? Or we never saw his parents. I mean, we never saw his family figure in that house.
Parents don't exist in just one of the guys, Sean.
Yeah. Parents don't exist. That's which is why you can host parties and not wash dishes. Yeah. I mean, that's why we go back and we watch these things, because with those, I did not remember that, and I'd probably seen that movie 15 times.
Yeah, I mean, I'd seen it definitely a handful of times, and it feels like a thing that I would have remembered and did not.
Yeah. I won't forget it now.
No. Now that we've recorded a podcast episode, that's locked away here. Always going to remember it. Also on Blue Sky, Gopherball said, the Elvis Costello line bothered me at the time, and as a giveaway, the script was written by a 20 or 30-something dude in 1985, no American high schooler. At least the type of girl who says the line in the movie would know how Elvis Costello dresses and likely would not know who he is. At this point, he's a couple years removed from his last minor U.S. hit, An Eternity for Teenagers, and is nowhere to be found on MTV. Spike and Veronica is 4 years away, and his greatest hits album wouldn't come out until after the movie wrapped. This is his down cycle in American cultural relevance.
That's Cheryl. Is that Sherilyn Finn's line? Like dresses like Elvis Costello.
I think so. It's either hers or maybe is it Deborah Goodrich?
Maybe, but it's talking about liking Terry, right? Talking about like Terry.
Yeah, so that's got to be Sherilyn Finn's line.
I also like when we recorded that, just to make a correction, I said that she said dresses like Elvis Costello, looks like Ralph Macchio, but she actually says looks like Karate Kid. Like, even more weird that William Zabka is in this.
Yes. Yeah, playing the same character, essentially.
Yeah, like how often
Or
are you
just
in a
that
movie?
character on steroids. Johnny Lawrence on steroids.
Yeah, Johnny Lawrence without instruction from a like a father figure, like an evil father figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Mobius 13 responded to Gopher Ball saying Jeff Franklin would turn 30 in 1985, so that tracks. But back to the Elvis Costello stuff. I will note that Elvis Costello was banned from SNL in December of 1977 until 1989. After aborting the second song, they'd been slated to play Less Than Zero and instead going into Radio, which wasn't on the album they were promoting, nor was it originally on their album that wouldn't drop for 4 more months, This Year's Model. It was added later stateside. Now, the SNL ban surely didn't help things, but Elvis Costello and the Attractions were certainly at a creative nadir as this film was being made, as I believe they'd just broken up, with most of their albums after 1980 charting lower than the one prior to it. I will, however, note that they had their first top 40 US hit in 83, which was Every Day I Write the Book. And so I think
That's a good song.
And I think people, I feel like that's probably still fresh enough. Not that I want to give Jeff Franklin the benefit of the doubt at all.
Yeah.
But
my Elvis Costello story that precedes this movie is, it took me a really, really long time to figure this out, but Mike from E.T., Elliot's brother, is singing an Elvis Costello song when he comes in, he first meets E.T.
Okay.
He's singing Accidents Will Happen.
Okay.
But pre-internet, like that, it was really difficult to figure it out. It always bothered me. And maybe we'll talk about this on ET when that comes up. But little extra bonus trivia for you if you're listening to this, on wondering where am I going to get some Elvis Costello trivia. You didn't think it was going to be on this, but guess what?
It is
free of charge.
And then Mobius 13 also added, maybe could have said dresses like Joe Jackson. He wore those skinny ties, didn't he?
Yeah. I can picture that.
Yeah, for sure. I did find some photos of Joe Jackson wearing the skinny ties.
That's a deeper cut though. That joke might just have not been.
I bet Joe Jackson would have hit better than Elvis Costello at the time.
Really? Okay. I don't know. I don't think many people can think of Joe Jackson right now. People who saw that movie.
I just think they could have in 1985.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it's one of those things where Elvis Costello plays better now to people who don't know that Elvis Costello was on like a 5-year downturn, because he kind of had his peak popularity was sort of 77 to 79.
That's why,
or at least what we think of as his peak popularity.
Which is why Just One of the Guys is one of the more prescient and genius films of the 80s.
Yes. Of any time, not just our times.
Yeah,
Anytime.
Good point. Yeah. As we talked about on that show.
I suppose we can go ahead and throw to Canedy, because do you want to intro her a little bit?
Canedy is one of the funnier people I've ever met. Really smart, very quick, improv, natural. Met her through a friend and got to spend some good quality time with her and her family when she and I both lived in New York. She has moved on to less flooded pastures, but she still remains like kind of an apex predator when it comes to comedy, and I think it's evident on the episode when we talked to her. She's very funny.
Oh yeah, for sure.
When I'm thinking now about this movie, like what we get into on that. There's a cloud that hangs over this.
The main event gets into some dark shit.
Yeah.
So you're a week prepared for that.
And it doesn't ruin this when I think about this movie, but like certainly there's some baggage that like we get into on the main event.
Yeah.
But that's we can't hide from these things, Josh.
Right.
We can't sugarcoat these movies and sugarcoat there's a reason that we've slit our palms and made this blood oath, is that we can't run from the truth, and we don't want our listeners to not get the full horrible truth as well. Sorry guys, but
now the weird thing about this one is that it is, in terms of when we recorded it, the third straight movie that we did that was a high school movie set in Arizona.
Oh my god, I thought you were gonna say William Zabka for a second, but
no,
we still have two,
because we recorded Pump Up the Volume in between just one of the guys and this next movie.
I never registered to me that these movies were Arizona based, like when I was watching them as a kid.
Yeah.
Like I just kind of blended them all into California.
Oh, well, sorry. Pump Up the Volume takes place in Phoenix, but was actually shot in Santa Clarita. I forgot about that. So
okay.
They're all based in Phoenix, but, or maybe this one is Tucson, but they're all Arizona-based teen comedies. Though Pump Up the Volume was not shot where this next week's main event will be. Yeah,
that's your hint until we drop it on in a few minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to find out in like 20 minutes or whatever.
You know what?
But,
what it is.
But yeah, these two are super fun. I know the main event for this next movie.
Yeah.
Like if you thought just one of the guys was long.
Yeah.
I remember the runtime of while we were recording of the main event with Canedy being about 2.5 hours. Yeah,
and furthermore, like as we said at the beginning of this, you don't need other bullshit movie podcasts, people.
No.
Like
we will cover all of the things you need covered.
You don't need to read like 2 biographies.
And this one is definitely one where revisiting it, Kennedy's like, oh my God.
Yeah. There's some.
There's a lot of that with this movie.
There's a lot of catharses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. A lot of catharsis. I don't know how much cathexis there is, but a lot of catharsis.
Yeah. But everybody knows this movie, I'd say. Like, this was up there.
Oddly, I had not seen it.
There's somebody from this movie who is a very big star. Yeah. Was big back then too.
Yep.
That's all I'll say. But yeah, this is great.
These two are really fun.
We don't even need a movie for Canedy.
No, we could have just talked with her for, I swear, I'm pretty sure I talked to her for at least 45 minutes, maybe an hour after each of the episodes that we recorded off mic.
She's pretty great. When it's time for, until Adam snips, we'd love to have Adam back. He's the third wheel on this machine.
Yeah.
But as far as he's procreating going, as far as the procreating going for him, he's going to be busy. And I will say, Canedy has some serious co-host energy for the Unkind Rewind.
For sure. Yeah.
We're definitely going to bring her back. And you'll see why.
Yeah, she's great. But yeah, without any further ado, Canedy Knowles. Welcome, everybody, to another Q's and T's installment of the Unkind Rewind. As usual, I'm the host, Josh Dugan, and I'm joined by my co-host, Sean McGrath, from the city that does not sleep. How are things, Sean?
Things are good. We had a cold snap. It's over, hopefully. Going to be enjoying, your late the high 30s, early 40s. So I was doing like the age instead of the weather. You know, my late 30s, early 40s. But yeah, things are okay. You know, world's on fire, but we're okay.
And joining us from, is it still snowy Georgia?
It's icy Georgia right now.
Okay. It's melting and re-icing overnight. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
But joining us from Georgia is Canedy Knowles. Canedy, how are things?
Oh, well, things are doing great here in Georgia. As long as I only focus on what's happening in the immediate 50-foot range of my house, things are great.
Sure.
Don't want to go
No.
past that.
No. Elsewhere, maybe not so much, but
Yeah.
things are, you know.
Stop at the driveway.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much get the mail, maybe throw it away without opening it, and then return to your house.
Run. You have to kind of run, right, from the mailbox?
Yeah, we have a really long driveway, so
Yeah.
you gotta run.
Now, normally that wouldn't be too bad, but we're recording this in January, and Georgia just had snow, which is very rare.
Yeah, the entire city and metro area of Atlanta just shut down.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody goes to school. And I'm from New York, where you have 15 feet of snow, and they're like, figure it out. You're coming. You gotta, hike through the snow drifts and trash. But here, it's like, oh, there might be snow. We're shutting everything down, and they should, because nobody in Georgia knows how to drive on icy roads. So yes,
Right.
Everything should be shut down. Nobody should get behind a wheel. It is absolute mayhem.
I imagine for a lot of those people, like, it's just, once you get snow on the ground, it's kind of murder-suicide pacts that they enter into. Like, there's really no coming back from that, right? Like, this is the end.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way. They also don't have the clothing. For me personally, as someone who has a lot of snow clothes, I'm like, yes, I can finally pull out my ski pants.
Yeah.
But for most everyone, it's a winter wonderland for a day, and then everyone is like New York, like, oh my God, it's so cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I moved to Austin, Texas from Minnesota. And when I did that, every time you'd get winter weather, it was pretty humorous to see, like, because the state doesn't, especially Austin, if you're in the Panhandle or something, the state has the infrastructure to take care of it. But in Austin, it's not like there are plows. You basically just wait until it melts because there's no infrastructure to take care of snow removal.
Oh, yes. I mean, our neighborhood, when there was this snow, we went, well, we're here for a couple days because there's a kind of a hill to go down into it. And we're like,
you're not going to be able to get back up.
No one's putting salt on it.
Mm-hmm.
The dog starts looking appetizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm a prepper. We have plenty of food in our safe
Cool.
room. So
Okay.
do not worry.
I'll keep that in mind for a prepper sitcom I was working on.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, Canedy, for the audience at home who doesn't know you, why don't you?
Who
tell them a
doesn't
little
know
bit about
me?
yourself?
I
How
know.
is this
That's
possible?
Kind of an insulting question.
Just some of the audience, not all of them. Some of them will know you, but for the members who don't know you,
Let's say, hypothetically, Canedy.
Okay.
yeah, like for the
There's a
4 people who
world.
don't know, yeah,
Okay. Well, or for the 4 people who do know, which will be my mom and dad, my husband, who will be listening. What do you want to know? Who I am?
yeah. Well, what I guess, however you, because I don't want to like pigeonhole people by just occupation or whatever. Who do you feel you are?
Oh man, see that's a
That's
frog
a
question.
late, that's laying down on the
Existential.
couch.
Oh geez, who do I feel I am? It changes every day. I am a artist. I'm a creator. I'm a comedian, an actor, a director, a mom, a pretty decent partner, and a good friend, and a klutz. I'm a real klutz. I think that should have been first.
Okay.
No, I career-wise, I am an actor, comedian, improviser.
Okay.
Expanding out as we age, and suddenly,
Sure.
a woman over 35 is. I'm now also a director and a writer.
But you'll
so I
be
do all the
35 for the
things.
next like 5 years, right?
I'm going to be between 30s and 40s, right, Sean? That's kind of like the New York weather, just always 30 to 40. So I am an artivist. That's that, cool word that people use for people who, do arts that have message, meaning, which I don't know what the message is, but
whatever your agent sends you that the specs say the range, the lowest number on that is what you are.
always.
Yeah.
And I laugh because usually it's really not what I am.
No.
I won't
You've got
say
a-
one way or the other.
You have to.
You've
embrace
got a
that.
youthful glow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what a filter on your iMac will do for you.
I just use Vaseline. I'm old school.
Just petroleum jelly. Just
Yeah. It's the standby.
I'm not sure your computer's going to like that.
We'll see. I go through a lot of webcams.
Do you put the Vaseline on the?
Yeah.
Oh,
But it does
not
drip.
on your face. Yeah.
It does drip.
Just a schmear.
That's why you buy in bulk when you get the webcams.
I thought you were talking about the Vaseline.
That too. Because I'm single.
Oh.
Okay, so moving past that. So you live in Georgia now, but I take it you lived in New York.
Yes.
Were you New York born and raised, or?
Oh, I was LA born and raised in the Valley.
Josh would
You
want
can
to talk to you about
get
LA.
super
for-
specific.
Yeah.
Get super
You want-
specific.
you want
I
This
lived
is
in-
super
Josh's
specific?
I
crack
moved.
cocaine.
I moved
here.
back here. I moved back here from LA like 4 years ago. So
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I was born on Wonderland Avenue in Laurel
Uh-oh.
Canyon.
Uh-oh.
Just in time. We moved just before, I think, the Manson murders. So
Okay.
my parents were neighbors.
mhm.
So I don't know, that was some fun times if you want to place kind of the culture that I was born into.
Mhm.
And then we moved to Sun Valley, California,
Sure.
which is, next to Burbank
Yep.
and Van Nuys.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it was lovely and very, very much the Valley in the 80s.
Right on.
All of that.
And then you went to New York. Did you go there for school, or did you go there after school, or?
No, we moved. So here's deep, if you want a map, we can put little
Sure,
pins
yeah,
in all the
uh-huh.
places. But then my parents moved to a place called Crossville, Tennessee, which was terrifying. And then Chattanooga, Tennessee for a couple years. And then my parents moved up to New York to teach at an acting conservatory up there when I was in high school. So I was
Okay.
there for however much, 30 plus whatever, or 15 to whatever my age is right now, -5. I was in
Sure.
New York.
Sure.
Was Crossville named for the yard fixtures that were popular there?
Oh, you say that as a joke, I think, but no. Yes.
Okay.
It was, have you read Demon Copperfield yet? Or Copperhead? Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver?
I've seen it enough.
I've seen the book cover a lot.
I've
Yeah,
seen the
it's
book
good.
cover enough to have read it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's basically all you need. But it
Mhm.
really is like that sort of let's just say there were 3,000 people in the town and one person of color. And he lived in the county. And it was like 80s. It was a shock from LA to go from
Sure,
there
yeah.
to Crossville. But they had this really thriving Quaker community. It was very strange because there was this very liberal Quaker community, a huge, really incredible community theater there, which is where my parents went to work. And so there was this very strange sort of push and pull. I was like, as I describe it, it feels very much like the world we're living in right now, where you're like, huh? What? What's going on? So that was Crossville. And then New York for a very long time, and Atlanta in 2019, just in time to not be in our converted one-bedroom apartment on the 36th floor for a year.
You missed that.
Our apartment on the 36th floor, Sean?
Do you miss you missed the COVID New York experience.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did. We
got to
did.
go
But
out.
we got it just through text messages and watching the slow descent into madness that all our friends experienced.
Yeah, you miss the people like swaddling their faces in scarves and face masks and yelling at people who are trying to get on the elevator. 2 maximum. No more than 2.
Actually,
Yeah.
Sean, that is what New York was like in the early 90s. So I didn't miss it, but just there wasn't the sort of veil of death surrounding it that you had. So uplifting, so fun, so
Yeah,
funny, this
times.
conversation.
Yeah.
It's always good to go back to
stuff.
the deep trauma and laugh
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. My wife and I were in LA still for the lockdown, and Sean's been in our old apartment, and we called it room.
Yeah, room.
So yeah, you can imagine how that was. So as a child, your parents were probably I'm assuming they're actors and acting teachers, acting
Yes.
instructors. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So as a child, what was your relationship to movies like?
We watched a lot of movies, and I was on a lot of sets for movies, and we knew people who were in movies. So,
Okay.
I mean, my parents were not famous or they were more theater
Working
people,
actors.
and they were consistent working actors, but we were sort of celebrity adjacent
Sure.
growing up. Like, I went to school with a lot of famous people's kids.
Mhm.
We were scholarship kids. We definitely were not living in Beverly Hills, as you
Right.
know, Sun Valley. Very middle class, working
Mhm.
class. But so movies for me were both an escape and a place that I love to go, and also work. So we knew, yeah.
Was there any part of that seeing a little bit how the sausage was made that took away some of the mystique from movies, or did they still enrapture you in a way that a kid who didn't know what a movie set was or didn't know what people were like kind of off camera, do you still feel like you had the veil kind of over you as you watch these movies?
That's such a tricky question, because I obviously don't know what it was like for someone who didn't know what it was to be on a movie set and kind of know how that all went behind the scenes, or to watch someone and say, I know them in real life, and also I can see them as this character. I think I was able to do both, especially as I was younger. As I got older, and obviously as our awareness expands to beyond our own experience, if we're lucky enough to make that cognitive leap, it was harder to dive into a movie without also thinking about how it was made. But when I was younger, I was able to do both. A movie would scare the bejesus out of me, or I could fully go in and pretend I was the characters. I see it with my daughter, who's 10 right now. She's been on a lot of movie sets, and she definitely knows how things are made. And Sean knows her. She's very precocious, and yet she will fully buy into a movie and feel the feels and be in it. And so I think it's just, so yes, the very short answer to what you said, yes, I think I was able to do that as much as, maybe not as much as a kid who didn't know, but I could dive in.
Now, were you able to, or like for your primary means by which you took in movies, were you mostly going to the theater with your parents, or was this like you guys had movie channels in the house? Were you going to the video store? How did you
Consume.
get access to things? Yeah. Mhm.
I would we went to the movies, and into the movie theater when we could afford it. And when I was 8, my parents shut off the TV. So before that, we could. But after I was 8 or 9, I guess they read an article, kind of like what we're doing with social media. Like, no more social media. My parents were like, no more TV. You are acting out in school, and we feel this is something that will help. So we shut off TV, and I only had access to VHS tapes, because we did have a VCR.
Okay.
So anything that had been recorded, or any, like, I don't know, black market VHS tapes that my friends would hand me on the playground, I could watch, and I could watch that as much as I wanted to.
Okay.
And we would go to the video store once a week and we could pick out like 3 movies. So what it meant was instead of just watching tons of different shows, I watched the same movies
Okay.
just over and over and over again.
Now, what was the black market elementary school playground like? What was that like? Were there like snuff films being passed around, or what? What is this, like Faces of Death? Were you watching Faces of Death all the time, or?
No, I wasn't watching Faces of Death.
Okay.
My friend across the street who had access to everything, I don't even know. It was the same stuff I was watching. It was just, under the table, to be like, oh, here, you need a VHS, or will you please record Small Wonder? That
Right.
And like I would watch one episode of Small Wonder like 100 times, which I think is equal to Faces of Death. If you really think about the content of Small Wonder, it's just as disturbing.
So you had this blackout time, these dark times in your adolescence, but you were still kind of able to get bootlegs and like Cold War, East Berlin types of things ferried to you through your peers.
Yes.
And those types of things did not, say, face, commandeering or scrutiny the same way that like a television just being on all the time would from your parents.
Yes, the rationale from my mom and dad, which I actually use with Davis often as well. My daughter, you can bleep out her name. We don't want anyone to know where she is. The rationale was that it wasn't so much that you were watching or consuming, but that you were not being critical or thinking about what you were watching, that you were being a passive consumer of entertainment, as opposed to, I'm going to sit down and watch, again, Small Wonder or Herself the Elf Christmas special 17 times and really understand the nuance of Small Wonder. Now, I'm sure if I came...
Of which there was plenty.
Oh, so much. If people do not know what we're talking about, please go watch it, if you can find it.
I'm sure you can. It's probably on archive.org.
Your parents had a respect or an appreciation for intention.
Yes.
Okay.
And storytelling and art. I mean, they really were. And it wasn't like, oh, this is... Obviously, they let me watch Small Wonder. But it was more just that I knew what I was watching. And if it was something I was watching a lot, they could sit down and talk to me about it. I think if it was rated R or X, they probably would have been like, yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. So it took you a while to get to Midnight Cowboy.
Yeah, surprisingly quicker than one would think. But yeah, it took a bit.
So you did have a little bit of parameters in the house of like, it wasn't just Bacchanalia, provided it's on a VHS tape. Like mom and dad still had some like, this probably isn't for you, or I don't think we're going to rent this.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And we also were pretty self-selective as well. Like both, we wouldn't go and get something that we knew was going to scare us.
Because you're going to watch it all together, presumably, a lot of these, right?
Yeah.
You're going to have, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was there an inciting incident of misbehaving in school that set off this TV ban, or was it really just an article and they said you were acting out?
What my parents said was there were a lot of other extenuating circumstances that probably contributed to the behavior, but it was primarily that I was getting more introverted, that I wasn't doing well. It's like I wasn't the vibrant human that they knew me to be, and so they had just they knew there were other things going on in our sort of extended life or family life, and so my parents saw this and talked with the pediatrician and talked with the teachers, who were like, what should we do? And they said, well, let's try this. And honestly, my parents say it did help.
Yeah, the blade was being dulled.
Yeah.
And,
whatever it was.
Yeah.
The Canedy we all see right now. Or
they wanted their old Canedy back.
Yeah, they want they want this Canedy to flourish.
Yes.
So, getting to the list of movies that you submitted.
A great list, by the way.
Great list, really fun list. We'll get to it. Anyway, so we've got Breakin'.
Mm-hmm.
Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Mm-hmm.
Can't Buy Me Love, Flashdance, The Last Unicorn, the Care Bears movie, Adventures in Babysitting, Finian's Rainbow, Desperately Seeking Susan, The Lost Boys, Clash of the Titans, License to Drive, and Aliens. Now, you reached out to Sean saying you have no recollection of Finian's Rainbow, which kind of makes me want to do Finian's Rainbow.
I shouldn't have told Josh that.
I know, right? I knew it. I was like, the minute I write this text, this is the damn thing I'm going to have to do. But don't. You'll be disappointed.
No, we're not.
We're not doing that. We're not.
I heard Ezra Klein really likes it, so.
Yeah, he's coming up in
Could
season
be.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we decided to go with Can't Buy Me Love. Now, memory can be a tricky thing. Having not rewatched the film in ages, can you briefly describe what you remember the basic plot of Can't Buy Me Love being?
There's a boy who mows lawns. That boy is Patrick Dempsey. Not in the movie. He's a different character, but the actor is Patrick Dempsey.
Honorary Irishman McDreamy,
Yes.
I believe.
And I did have the privilege of doing a film with him later in life, and he is McDreamy, and those blue eyes are hypnotizing. They are truly McDreamy. He has a crush on a very rich, blonde, I believe she has cascading blonde curly hair. You could tell I was like 10. The things that I remember are like what she wore and what she looked like, because I legit tried to do those things and failed. So she has this long curly blonde cascading hair, and she goes to a party and she doesn't know what to wear, and which is a problem when you live in Beverly Hills or wherever she lives and you have a big closet. And so she takes her mother's or her stepmother's, or maybe it's her older sister, a very young woman who's supposed to either be her mom or maternal figure, takes her white suede outfit and wears it and spills red wine on it. I tried to find a white suede halter top skirt outfit.
She goes to a high school party where there's red wine.
Yes.
Cool.
I believe she's in high school. Maybe I feel like she is.
Okay.
And she gets red wine spilled all over it, and she can't get it out. And so, I think Patrick Dempsey teaches her what work is, how one earns money. I'm not sure if this is about like, hey, you put effort in, you get a return, or wow, I've lived in this privileged life forever and look at you and doing things that are, I don't know, satisfying. I don't know. But I believe she gets the outfit and she falls in love. So there's a whole second act there that I really do not remember.
Okay.
But that's
I'm only
pretty
presuming
solidly.
I'm only presuming it's high school because you said that she's borrowing clothes from a family member.
Yeah.
So she would be living with a family member.
You would think so. I'm pretty sure there's a dad somewhere in the picture. Maybe not.
It's the 80s. You never know.
It is. And
they're
also,
all broken homes at that point.
Yeah.
it's a lot of parents who don't really pay much attention to their kids.
Yes.
And the kids are doing a lot of very questionable adult behavior.
Yeah, we were all free range.
Yeah, pretty much.
Assuming she's going to a party with wine where there are no parents, perhaps, right?
I'm thinking so.
Unless it's France.
Look, it's definitely not France. Definitely not. Because
So this is a California 80s movie.
Yes.
Like bones and all. Okay.
Oh, for sure. And what I really, that's what I remember the first act and I remember the third act.
Okay.
But all I remember of the third act is that she and Patrick Dempsey's character get together. And she's learned a lesson. I feel like she has seen that there is more to life than her privileged. They didn't use the word privilege back there, but her fancy.
Sure. Sure.
Beverly
Her
Hills
shallow,
world.
materialistic experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how old were you when this was a fixture?
This is probably, well, I'm going to say like 2021. So we think that I'm still in my 30s, like that 30-year-old range. No. No. I mean, 7, 6, 1. I went wrong with the math. That would make me much older.
Okay.
No, I was probably 10, 9 or 10. This is just in that time where I am thinking about those sorts of, I don't know, like, who am I? Boys.
Popularity.
Although I always went to schools with like 3 people. So popularity was not necessarily, but I imagined, right? I was like, oh, what would it be like?
And you talked about like the image of this woman too, right? And how important that was.
Absolutely. There was like, I feel like there were those movies in the 80s, at least my experience of them, the ones that really stuck with me on that list. And you can divide them as you imagine, but there were either the protagonists that I identified with, that I saw myself as, and then there were these girls who you wanted to be, or you thought were what you should be, you know, obviously through this sort of wonderful male lens, the male gaze. But I would be like, oh, I want this blonde curly hair, and I want this, oh, I'd be so cool with this white suede outfit at 10. Look ridiculous.
Sure. Yeah.
But that was it was like Barbie, right? You're just the aspiration. So there were the movies of people that I identified with, and then the ones that I wish I was. So Patrick Dempsey would fall in love with me.
Now, what memories do you have that stick out most about you and your experiences with Camp I Knew?
I'm laughing because it really was so wanting to be her, and so wanting someone like Patrick Dempsey's character to fall in love with me. That was pretty much, I would say that's almost every movie of that time that I watched. It was like John Cusack, right? Like, I'd be like, oh, I want to be this character so that a Lloyd Dobler will fall in love with me.
Sure.
You know,
were you valedictorian then?
Yeah.
Were you?
I would say
Nice.
that character in...
Yeah, you're Diane Court?
Yeah.
Okay. But your parents didn't go away? They didn't get shipped upriver?
No.
Terrified of flying.
Yeah. No, a lot of things I'm not her, but I could, if you were going to put me in a category, it would be her. It'd be Sloane in, Ferris Bueller. It's kind of those, it's sort of where I live. I don't live in the blonde, white suede world.
Did you find a kickboxer to date?
I have, you know what? If we're going to go down the dating path, we're going to need to extend. I have dated them all. I've dated them all.
All right.
So,
Sweet.
and I have settled on a nice Dutch man who is nothing like any character I ever saw in a movie, and it's probably for the best.
So for someone who, like, for me, my only relationship to Patrick Dempsey is Loverboy, the pizza delivery sex for hire movie.
Oh, yeah.
What is it about Patrick Dempsey that appealed to younger you, that younger version, the scrawnier version of Patrick Dempsey? Like, the Grey's Anatomy makes sense to me, but like when he's younger, he is like, you know, kind of he hasn't filled.
He's like
out.
a buck.
He's
like
scrawny.
$120. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. He's kind of a slight frame. What about Patrick Dempsey then appealed to you?
The first word that came to my mind, which would not be the word I would have used at age 10, is safe.
Okay.
He is a safe, like, crush. You know, he's harmless, and he has good intention, and he works really hard, and he's really cute. And I'm pretty sure there was a scene where he's mowing the lawn without his shirt on, and it's tied around his waist. And I'm pretty sure, even though it was $120, there were some abs there. It wasn't just like a skeleton coming through. They're really like, he was cute in that way that as a 10-year-old, I'm looking and saying, oh, this is cute, this is safe. If we want to dive into, the Freudian part, I'm sure he also was very much, my dad was a big dork. My dad is a scrawny dude. I'm sure, if we want to go into the daddy issues, any of that. But I like smart, well-intentioned
Beardless.
guys.
Hairless.
Beardless.
Yeah.
Hairless.
I mean, all the hair was up top for Dempsey, right? Like, he took, it had to take, 20 years after that for him to kind of get the 5 o'clock shadow, the little bit of grizzle from his McDreamy days. But like the early Dempsey days were this, Michelangelo's David, without that type of body, like, in shape, but like,
he was as close to a 10-year-old boy as I could get on,
which are safe,
like very safe.
Yeah.
And so I think that, and just the idea, right, of this guy who just falls for you, and it's the rom-com, right? It's that this idea of love. I think there were other, as I said, other actors at that age that I would project that on, but this
was
one
John
really...
Cryer one too, because we've had him pop up, and I know that he's been, I've seen him mentioned as a safe, like a safe thing for adolescent girls to sort of aspire to date.
I am firmly Team Ducky, like 110%.
Okay.
Like, yes. And so I think there's also a comedic element, right? They were funnier. They were a little not mainstream,
Sure.
but still mainstream enough that I wasn't pulling a, Breakfast Club. I'm going to be,
Right.
wasn't a Judd Nelson to the
bad boy.
Right. It wasn't a bad boy, but it was just the undiscovered boy. Like, oh, I'm going to discover you.
There's probably something too, like with Dempsey and, his early movies, like he was the one to give love and like want love and be hopelessly romantic about love. And maybe there is safety there because he can't hurt you if he is the one seeking this from you. You're like, he's not the one that's going to break your heart. You could break his heart, of course, and he could capitalize on that. But Dempsey had that kind of, the energy of like, I'm only going to fall for you, and maybe, just maybe, you'll fall for me too.
Oh man, Sean, I don't have to go to therapy for like a month now. That was so, like, I truly,
that's what we do here.
You really cracked open a piece, but absolutely. I say that in jest and also, of course, right?
Yeah.
You're 10, you don't want to be certain. There's enough. Look, as a 10-year-old in the valley, there is enough that you have to deal with. Like that impending nuclear cloud that might be coming your way from who knows what.
Sure.
Ooh, the 80s, it was terrifying.
Race riots and
smog,
gas shortages, smog,
earthquakes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have to deal with whether or not this boy likes me. I want to know he likes me because I need a firm foundation when all of the rest of it is shaking.
And it gives you power too, because you have the decision then to make of whether or not you're going to fall for him.
Yeah. Yep.
So what expectations do you have for your return to Can't Buy Me Love?
Oh, I'm so excited to watch this movie again. It is truly one I have not seen since probably I was 10 or 11. And I am looking forward to seeing just how adorable Patrick Dempsey actually is, if it translates. I'm excited for the nostalgia of seeing what I wanted to be, like how, if that sort of attraction is still there to being that girl. I'm very curious to see what happens in the second act. I do feel like there's going to be some questionable material when it comes to gender, when it comes to, I don't know, female empowerment. I don't know. Every movie we've gone back to watch with my daughter from the 80s we have had to, my husband and I have to literally yell at times. We're like, don't watch, ha ha, and dance in front of the TV because we're like,
Yeah.
oh dear, this is really, they don't age well.
We haven't
Yeah.
come across that on the podcast yet.
No, never? That's weird.
No,
Yeah,
it's a
It's constant.
yeah.
I'm
we're-
sure.
Every fucking movie.
Josh and I are both in dire straits health wise because of the drinking game that we developed, and that everything that's problematic we take a shot. No,
Oh.
but yeah, I mean, I think like instead of the it's a sex scene, let's talk and kind of dance in front of the screen during this, it's now like this is really close to sexual assault. Let's try to like
Or
Absolutely.
just absolutely sexual assault.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
We were watching, this is not the one that we're talking about, but we showed Davis, we showed our daughter Teen Wolf during
Oh, yeah.
Halloween, thinking that would be, that's such a fun movie, Michael J. Fox. And 20 minutes in, my daughter turned to us and went, can we please stop this movie? This is terrifying. And it had nothing to do with him turning into a wolf. It had to do with his best
Gender
friend.
dynamics, yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, and the party. And she's like, this is scaring me. This is very
Styles is a
inappropriate.
lot.
Yeah,
Woo.
he's a lot.
Yeah.
Woo! So, watch with care. So I probably won't be doing that drinking game with you all as my, I need to be able to function.
I
Sure.
can't we wouldn't say one way or the other, but I honestly don't remember if there's anything like that in this movie.
I think I've maybe seen it once. I have zero recollection of this movie.
I've seen it more
it's
than
been
once.
a thing I knew, but like
Yeah.
I don't think I saw it more than once and don't remember anything about it.
This was a movie I very closely associate with my older cousin Nora because it was, like I knew the movies that we had in our collection, and then I knew the movies that were like one level beyond that. Like I knew the movies like my cousin had, and I knew the movies like, my friends down the street had. And so there was a little bit of that bartering back and forth, but I really associate this with like going to the cookouts, going to the family get-togethers and being like, oh, okay, well, I know that movie's available to us.
To watch when you don't want to
Yeah,
be.
I've definitely seen this more than once. I'm probably in the 2 to 4 range for this.
Oh, that's pretty high. I'm hoping that the song is in it. I can't remember if Can't Buy Me Love, if they got the rights. So I'm excited to
They
see.
did. They
Yeah.
did. Now this is
Whether or not Michael
not
Jackson
readily
made any money
available
off
right
that.
now, but it's on archive.org and it's on YouTube in full. But on YouTube, there's a whole broad spectrum of the video that is soundless because they had to cut the song out.
Right.
So there's like where the song is, there's just like no dialogue. People's mouths are moving. So don't watch it on YouTube because it's they're like uploads, user uploads.
Right,
So
right.
That had been
but yeah, on
flagged.
archive.org, it's not flagged. So
Oh, will you send me the link? Because if I can't
yes,
find
I
it,
will. I will.
I
No,
think
I'll send it to you right
Okay.
like when we're done.
I might have the VHS, but my VHS, and we do have a VCR because that's the way we roll in this house.
Sure.
But I don't know if it would play without it totally disintegrating in the machine.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to this. Where can listeners find you?
Oh, well, if it's a game of hide and seek, I'm usually in behind the curtains, in the living room. No, seriously, where they can find me. I do in Atlanta improv on Saturday nights at Studio 13, Improv Mania. I am the director of that. And you can find me on the socials first of all, I call it the socials. So that shows you really how involved I am in them. But Canedy Knowles at, I think I have a page on Facebook and then
everything.
IG. Yeah, on
Okay.
all of it.
And we can get your improv.
We'll have all
links
that
and-
stuff. Yeah, we'll have all
Yeah.
that in the show notes. So
And you may see me selling you toothpaste or,
Okay.
popping up in a show as often I play the privileged ladies you love to hate. I don't know. That's kind of my brand. Crazy
Okay.
behind the eye, like borderline Karens.
Sweet.
I like
sweet,
to
yeah. Uh-huh.
feel like that's kind of my vibe, as the kids say these days.
Well, thankfully, that's not your vibe, IRL.
Oh, and I know what IRL means, so Total Request Live, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Mhm.
that's what we're going with.
Yep. Well, thank you for joining us, Canedy. Really looking forward to next week's app.
Me
Yeah,
too.
we will, in a week, we will be able to confirm if you cannot buy love.
You know what? I can't wait to hear.
Yeah, it might be a different answer for all of us, but,
Yeah.
that's why we do this.
I'm going to have to ponder
answer
the
the-
title.
Sure.
Sean, jeez, now I really am going to have to think about Can You Buy Love? Damn.
And Josh will find out if Michael Jackson made any money off of the Beatles' rights to that song.
Fingers crossed.
And if it makes any difference to him now.
Yeah,
I think it probably doesn't.
I don't think he could take it with him.
Nope. I think that's a different movie. You can't take it with
Indeed.
you. So
Yeah,
there we go.
that'll be. Yeah, we'll get to that down the road.
Who's going to have that on their list, Sean? What, best picture winner of what, 1938 or something?
Well,
Yeah.
listen, I have a lot of 1930s and 40s movies, but the thing is, I've seen them. I watched a lot of those growing up, but I've watched them since. So all of those, I couldn't put on.
Mhm.
So
Well, until next week, everybody, thanks for joining us. That was another installment of the Unkind Rewind, mining our childhood for content, one film from a guest's past at a time. Unkind Rewind is a Munchcasts production and can be listened to wherever you download your podcasts and watched on the Unkind Rewind YouTube channel. Music for this and every other episode of Unkind Rewind was composed by Divorcio Suave. Rate, review, like, and subscribe to Unkind Rewind on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and Good Pods. Links to all of our social media accounts are in our show notes, but you'll find us as @Unkindrewindpod on Letterboxd and nearly every social media platform, all of which can be found at our website, unkindrewind.com. If you have a question, concern, complaint, or feedback, you can email the podcast at unkindrewindpod@gmail.com or call into our call-in line, area code 507-479-6440, and leave a message that can be played on air. Fans should join the Munchcast Discord to discuss this or any other episode of the Unkind Rewind with like-minded people. This dialogue may just make it into a future episode of the pod. The Unkind Rewind Patreon will be coming soon, so start squirreling that pocket change away. Thank you for listening to the Unkind Rewind.